Here's a belated Happy New Year to everyone out there. We are pretty much well into the new year, and if you're one of those fortunate enough people that got your first drone over the holidays and you're wondering, what do I do now with this thing? Well, this video is for you. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take your trust test, which is the recreational UAS safety test. And you can take that at a couple of places such as the Pilot Institute or a UAV coach, and I will have their links in the description down below. The test is free and it should only take about 10 to 15 minutes of your time. I also see the trust test is the FAA is trusting that you as a drone pilot, as a hobbyist, and especially if you are new to the hobby, that you know all the basic FAA drone regulations and laws. Such as, do not fly your drone above 400 feet AGL, and that stands for above ground level. And as you can see, 400 feet is way up there, plenty high enough to get whatever shots you need. Don't go above it, just don't. Do not fly beyond visual line of sight, and that can be tricky when you have a mini drone, as they are a little hard to see up there. You must keep a situational awareness, not just for yourself, but also for your drone in the sky and what's going on in that airspace. There could be low-flying aircraft such as helicopters, hot air balloons that are floating across the sky, and if you're within their area, they can't just move out of the way. Predatory birds are another one that you gotta watch out for. And also UFOs. Watch out for those UFOs out there. Do not fly over people or moving vehicles. Do not fly your drone during a TFR, otherwise known as a temporary flight restriction. You'll often see those during major sporting events like NFL games, Major League Baseball games, or wildfires. There's always going to be a TFR when there's a wildfire, and whatever you do, do not fly your drone near, around a wildfire. Bad news. When you fly in a TFR during a wildfire, ultimately what that is going to do is it grounds all the planes and helicopters that are dropping retardant in water, and it's just don't be that guy. And along with wildfires, do not fly your drone around emergency situations or personnel. There's first responders, let them do their job, just keep the drone grounded and just stay away. And you're also going to learn about controlled airspace, and every pilot should have the Aloft AirAware app downloaded on their phone, because you can check where you're going to go fly ahead of time or when you get to the location, and it's going to simply tell you if you're good to fly or if you need Lance approval. And if you need Lance approval, well, the other app you're going to have is Air Control. Lance stands for Low Altitude Authorization and Notification Capability. And in the Air Control app, you will be able to get instant FAA Lance approval if you're in controlled airspace up to a certain point. But again, that's going to depend on where you're flying and exactly the approval that you're asking for. But it's very important to have those two apps so you don't get yourself in trouble by flying in controlled airspace. Pre-flight checklist. That's something that a lot of brand new pilots know nothing about, and probably a lot of seasoned pilots, well, they may not do it enough, if even at all, but everybody should always go through a pre-flight checklist. And what is a pre-flight checklist? Let's get my mini out and I'll show you what I mean. There's the little guy. A pre-flight checklist is just a few simple steps that you're going to go through every time you're about to fly your drone. Props. You want to check the props. Make sure the props are free of any nicks, major scratches, or any kind of damages. That will definitely affect your flight. Motors. Spin your motors. Make sure they spin nice and freely. They're not sticky. They're not grindy. They just move nice and freely. A stuck motor can definitely give you issues up in the sky. Make sure your gimbal is also free moving before you power it on. That way, if you have any kind of debris, dirt, sometimes even little sticks can get stuck in there, you know it's all good to go. If you don't want to turn your drone on, have that gimbal motor error coming on, that could do some damage to your gimbal. Check the airframe. Make sure that there are no cracks, dents, just anything that could potentially give you a bad flight out there. And finally, make sure your batteries are safe. Again, these are typically all LiPos, and you want to make sure they're not swollen or giving you any issues whatsoever. Here's the key. If your battery does not slide into your drone nice and smoothly and click, There could be something wrong with your battery. If you have extras, just don't even use it. Just best to not take chances, as that could potentially become a fireball in the sky. So apart from the trust test, you're ready to fly, you're ready to get out, you're ready to see what this new drone that you got can do. My advice is getting out to an open area like a park, open field, wherever you can, mostly free of trees, and we'll get into the trees a little bit later here in the video. And you just want to get the hang of taking off. So starting your motors, if you're not going to have DJI do it for you, you just want to pull your sticks outwards as you just saw, and that's going to start your motors. And then your throttle is going to be on the left side here, and the throttle is the up and down stick movement. So as we go up, there we go. And I'm going to actually put it in the cine mode. Cine mode is otherwise known as tripod mode, and that just slows your rates way down. Your throttle is simply up and down. As you see here, definitely changing altitude. As you see also, I'm pinching my sticks. Some people like to thumb them. I believe in pinching, as it just gives you greater control over your drone. Also on the left side, we have what's called the yaw, and the yaw is left and right movement, spinning your drone around like that. On the right side, we have pitch, which is forward and backwards, and it's exactly going to do that. It's going to move your drone forward and backwards. And we have the roll, and the roll is going to be like the yaw, same direction, but instead of just spinning it, we're actually going to roll to the left and roll to the right. And that's all your directions, and once you start putting those combos all together, that's how you can do orbits and all sorts of really cool tricks and get really smooth and fly around objects and through objects and whatever you want to do. All right, let's go ahead and land it here. And as you can see, I've been using a landing pad, and I think landing pads are great because it really teaches you how to land well. And I need to land this guy. Boom, good enough. All right. Or you could just catch your drone, but hey, if you don't want to catch it, you're not comfortable with that, get good at being able to land pinpoint on a spot. All right, let's move on. And my final piece of advice is, and this one actually came from the legendary Ken Heron. If you have not checked out his channel, I highly recommend it. It's quite entertaining. In the words of Ken Heron, and it is very true, trees are dicks. That's right, trees are complete dicks out there. Do not fly around trees. They will reach out and they will grab your drone. They do it every time. Just stay away from trees until you get really confident in your skills. Well, that's going to do it for this video. I hope that was a good video and giving you just a quick lowdown on the very basic FAA regulations of flying a drone. And once you get the hang of it, then you're going to be ready to go out and explore and see the world from above. And let me tell you, it is awesome. All right, until the next video, stay atomic.